Why do some people seem untouched by life's hardest trials, moving forward with unshakable calm while others crumble? This is no accident. It's a testament to the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. Unlock the secrets of enduring the toughest days and discover how you can harness this silent strength in your own life. The Stoic Art of Enduring Difficult Days. Perseverance through Stoicism. Compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. Face pain without complaints. Imagine a lone mountain standing in the path of relentless winds, its peaks lashed by rain and snow. The mountain does not waver, nor does it cry out against the storm. It simply endures, immovable, dignified, and solid. So it goes with the Stoic soul when confronted with pain, a quiet resistance, shaped by time and trial. Many of us long for this serene power, yet often find ourselves caught in a cycle of reacting, complaining, and wanting the world to know our hurt. The struggle to face pain in silence is as old as humanity itself, embedded deeply in the fabric of our inner lives. We hope, often unconsciously, that if we voice our soreness, the ache of betrayal, the sting of disappointment, the burden of loss, relief will follow. But the more we give pain our loud attention, the louder it echoes in our hearts. Within every person lives a conflict between emotional necessity and emotional mastery. When suffering takes root, our minds tug at us, whispering to lash out or seek sympathy, to resist and protest against the cruelties of the moment. We become like archers, releasing arrows into a fog, trying desperately to hit the invisible target of relief. What we often don't see is how these arrows circle back, piercing us afresh with every thoughtless complaint. At our deepest, we yearn not just for an escape from hardship, but for inner dominion, a silent fire of dignity that keeps burning long after the outer flames have died down. Facing pain without complaint isn't about suppressing our emotions or denying wounds. Instead, it is choosing to weather discomfort the way a ship cuts up a dark, restless sea. Steady, silent, patient, upheld by its own inner strength. The challenge is real and daunting. Difficulties press in like unrelenting storm clouds, and instinct may urge us to share every drop of our suffering. This habit of voicing pain, however, often leaves us more vulnerable to feeling conquered by it. Complaints have a clever trick of multiplying, turning a single hardship into a chorus of woes, stealing our energy for endurance and closing us off from the growth pain can feed. The transformative response the Stoic embraces is quiet acceptance, paired with courageous endurance. This is not a passive march or dry-hearted detachment. It is the art of carrying pain with poise, acknowledging it as a teacher, and refusing to build shrines to our suffering in everyday conversation. To face pain in silence is a practice, the willful redirection of our attention from the outside toward the steady, unwavering core within. This core, like the deep roots of an oak, quietly nourishes our ability to stand tall and withstand whatever storms come. Every time you resist the urge to complain about your pain, you strengthen this core. In opting for silence, you grant yourself a powerful autonomy over your circumstances. You begin to attract to yourself not sympathy bred from weakness, but respect forged in visible discipline. The journey of the Stoic does not mean pain loses its sting. It means we decide what story to make of that pain. By mastering the initial impulse to grumble, we become authors of our resilience, artists of our inner fortitude. This transformation may appear mysterious or even severe at first. How does one reveal real emotion and still reject complaints? Yet the answer already lives quietly in the wise traditions of the past and the steady hearts of those who lead lives unaffected by turmoil. As you learn to see your moments of trial as silent instructors, every hardship becomes an opportunity to unlock a richer self, deepen emotional control, and train your mind on something greater than relief, lasting, silent strength. In the end, every complaint resisted is like dropping an anchor deeper, allowing the ship of your spirit to be still, no matter the turmoil on the surface. Facing pain without complaint is not an act of grim resignation. It is the world's most subtle, unstoppable form of defiance. When pain strikes, pause and acknowledge the discomfort without letting complaints rise to your lips. Practice one moment of silence for every urge to voice hardship, and let your focus settle on steady breathing or gentle reflection. As you master this quiet endurance, you'll unlock new levels of emotional strength and self-respect, watching challenges shrink in the shadow of your composed resilience. Begin today by observing how often you want to complain and exchanging each impulse for inner steadiness instead. Consider it training for your mind's own silent power. In our next lesson, we'll explore how embracing discomfort can become your path to necessary growth. For more wisdom and to support our community, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your reflections below. Lesson 2. Embrace discomfort as necessary growth. There's a quiet beauty to a tree growing against the wind, its trunk bending ever so slightly, its roots digging deeper into the unseen earth. From the outside, the scene looks harsh and unyielding. To the tree, however, every gust is an invitation to become stronger and more grounded. It endures not by shielding itself from the elements, but by welcoming the challenge as a vital part of its existence. Within each of us, there lies a similar struggle. How do we respond when life's discomfort presses against us, not just once, but again and again, in ways both large and small? For many, the knee-jerk reaction to discomfort is resistance. The mind, seeking refuge in comfort and ease, recoils from the unfamiliar, the awkward, or the difficult. When a challenge appears, whether it's taking on a new responsibility, making a tough decision, or confronting a personal weakness, we instinctively yearn to turn away. The warmth of the known calls to us, urging us to retreat to the soft interior of the familiar, like a sailor who clings to calm harbor waters rather than facing the unpredictability of the sea. Yet, despite this longing, the very act of growth demands that we leave the safe shore behind. And herein lies the inner conflict, the clash between the comfort we desire and the necessity of the struggle that shapes us. This tug-of-war is universal. Who hasn't hesitated at the threshold of a difficult conversation, postponed an important project out of fear of failure, or shied away from physical or mental challenges that stretch us beyond the old boundary lines? Discomfort signals danger to our inborn instincts, and modern life, with its promise of endless choice and instant relief, has trained us to move swiftly away from the first hint of pain or awkwardness. The result? Stagnation. A sense of having outgrown our past, yet feeling unable to claim a stronger, wiser future. Many people move through life untested, never finding out just how sturdy their roots could become if only they faced into the wind instead of shrinking from it. Here, Stoic wisdom delivers a gentle but transformative truth. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your forge. It is the mysterious hand that tempers your mind and refines your character. Imagine a craftsman, patient and precise, who exposes metal to flame again and again, not to destroy, but to reveal the hidden strength inside. By turning toward discomfort instead of running from it, you imitate this craftsman within your own life, using every awkward or challenging moment as an ingredient for real transformation. This solution need not feel insurmountable. You can start wherever you are, by engaging with a task you would rather avoid, or choosing honesty even when it generates tension. In moments where discomfort arises, treat it as a guide, not a threat. The benefits are as enduring as they are subtle. Each time you choose to face discomfort with openness, be it emotional, physical, or mental, you add another ring to the tree of who you are becoming. Mastering this skill enables you to unlock reserves of calm and confidence in situations that once would have left you shaken. You radiate integrity, drawing the respect of those who sense your unwavering core. Instead of shrinking from difficulty, you become undefeatable, possessed of a silent, unshakable discipline that continues to flourish long after others might have faltered. Real growth asks us to risk vulnerability. To master emotion, we must be willing to dance, awkward step by awkward step, with the ever-changing storms that shape us. This lesson, a lesson as old as time, reminds you that real comfort is born not from a life free of challenge, but from being shaped by and rising through the discomfort that all worthwhile journeys require. When discomfort rises, welcome it by pausing, naming the feeling, and leaning in with curiosity instead of resistance. Every small act of embracing discomfort adds to your resilience and sharpens emotional control. Begin today by seeking out one challenge you usually avoid and sit with it. Next, discover how to anchor yourself in inner stability. You're calm in every storm. Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts to join the journey. Lesson 3. Anchor yourself in inner stability. Picture a ship surrounded by darkening waters, beset by swirling winds and unpredictable tides. While turbulence rages above and all seems uncertain, the vessel holds firm, rooted deep by a powerful anchor, unseen but steadfast. This anchor grants it defenses not against the storm itself, but against being swept away by chaos. This image isn't just for the mariner. It is a metaphor etched into every life. In the whirlwind of modern existence, we too are battered by forces beyond our control. Harsh words that sting, disappointments that threaten to sink us, constant demands that pull at our attention like restless waves. Most of us want to be unshakable, yet we find ourselves adrift, reacting with every swell and surge, emotions tossing us to and fro. Within each person lies the quiet hope for stillness, for a space untouched by the storm, a certainty that remains even as the world clamors for our attention and tries to define what matters most. Yet the inner conflict is persistent. How do we respond when peace feels like a distant dream and the slightest problem can unravel our day? We may feel the brewing storm at work, in relationships, in conversations where judgment hovers or understanding fails. Even within, thoughts spiral and anxieties rise, leaving us feeling more like a small boat than the mighty ship calmly anchored against trouble. Many experience these moments where emotional mastery seems out of reach. Maybe you scroll through headlines and feel hit by a wave of uncertainty over the future, or someone's criticism reaches you at the perfect moment to shatter your mood. Perhaps nagging doubts and self-judgment swirl within, long after your head hits the pillow. When our sense of stability comes from outer circumstance, every new wave has the power to tilt us off course. Emotionally, it can feel like we are living on shifting ground, vulnerable, exposed, and at the mercy of what happens next. This reaction becomes exhausting, and soon the effort to gain back footing steals as much energy as the original crisis itself. The transformative solution ancient Stoic wisdom offers is both bold and quietly revolutionary. Instead of seeking stability in the shifting winds of what happens to us, we set our anchor deep within. This means cultivating an inner home, a place of conviction, clarity, and calm that is untouched by outside events. Imagine an archer who, no matter how wild the winds around the target, draws her bow not in panic but in patient focus, returning again and again to her internal rhythm. This is the practice of anchoring yourself in what you truly control, building fierce loyalty to your own values, and reminding yourself daily that external storms are not your master. The core idea here is that while you cannot calm every wave, you can choose how you set your anchor. This inner stability is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing practice, a daily, even moment-to-moment commitment to returning to yourself. It's built every time you pause before reacting, examine your thoughts rather than letting them control you, and gently question the story that fear or anger might try to write for you. As you nurture this internal stability, you unlock a source of silent strength. Difficulties may swirl around you, but you remain steady, quietly powerful, and undisturbed. Over time, you become less reactive, more intentional, and increasingly able to persist with a sense of undiminished dignity. Others sense this calm. It attracts trust and respect, drawing people toward your unique gravity. In this way, you become like the anchored ship, both impacted by the world and undefeated by it. This lesson reveals that true peace is not the absence of storms, but the discovery of that deep, unwavering place within, ready, always, whatever may come. Pause and notice when you feel swept by emotion, then ground yourself by focusing on your breath and silently naming your truest values. Practice this daily to cultivate inner stability and witness how calm replaces reactivity. Begin anchoring yourself today. Next, we'll learn to expect setbacks and endure with grace. Remember to subscribe and share your thoughts below. Lesson 4. Expect setbacks. Endure with grace. Picture a candle standing tall against the cold darkness, its faint light flickering and bending, but never extinguishing, no matter how many gusts of wind sweep through the room. This quiet flame endures each unpredictable draft, burning with remarkable persistence, not by resisting the wind's arrival, but by adapting to its passage. In the journey of mastering one's emotions and cultivating true inner discipline, setbacks are as predictable as the changing weather. The challenge is not to barricade ourselves against every disappointment, but to discover how to remain upright, luminous, and gracious as the winds inevitably come. Almost everyone harbors a hope, sometimes conscious, often quiet, that with enough effort, life will unfold smoothly, each step yielding to the next without resistance. When the path suddenly buckles, dreams delayed, relationships strained, plans upended, the shock can cut deeply and stir resentment. You begin with the best intentions, but adversity presses unexpected weight onto your shoulders. In these moments, a hidden conflict awakens within. The urge to rebel against fate's unfairness clashes with another instinct, the longing to move through hardship with composure and dignity. Each setback risks altering your mood for hours, maybe days. A single defeat feels as if it can shake your very foundation. Facing setbacks can quickly reveal the brittleness in our emotional armor. A missed opportunity, an angry word, a result that veers in the wrong direction, these are all arrows that land when least expected. It becomes easy to question yourself, to see every obstacle as a sign that you are moving backwards or are somehow unwanted by fortune. For many, this challenge brings with it the pain of comparison, the sad illusion that others stride effortlessly ahead while you alone stumble and falter. The grip of discouragement can be powerful, holding you in place or prompting outbursts that strain your character and relationships. It is here, amidst the fragility and turbulence, that the true need for emotional mastery is revealed. Setbacks do not simply ask for skill, they demand transformation. Ancient Stoic wisdom offers an answer as subtle as it is potent. Expect setbacks as essential elements of the journey and resolve to meet every hardship with grace. This shift is not the same as blindly welcoming harm or passively enduring misfortune. Instead, it is a radical act of preparation, like a seasoned captain who instructs their crew not to fear storms, but to plan for them, using each crash of thunder and wave as an opportunity to practice steadiness. When a setback arrives, you acknowledge its inevitability. See it not as a punishment, but as a training ground. And ask yourself, how can I move through this with dignity rather than distress? This perspective is liberating because it disarms the shock and disappointment that so often make hard times feel overwhelming. Imagine approaching a setback like an archer whose arrow strays from the mark. Rather than curse the unseen winds, the archer gracefully adjusts aim for the next shot. Likewise, you can greet your setbacks with an open mind, eyes on the lesson rather than the loss. The skill lies in turning frustration into fuel for self-improvement, choosing not sadness, but curiosity about what each trial can teach. By training your mind to expect and embrace the unpredictability of life, you unlock a deeper resilience, shed layers of fear, and become more attractive to those drawn to silent, steadfast strength. Endurance, then, is more than patience. It is learning, adapting, and growing stronger with each challenge. A still fire glowing with purpose, impossible to extinguish even when the night draws in. Remember, in expecting setbacks and enduring them gracefully, you master emotions and train your mind in their finest art, the ability to move forward, undefeated by adversity. When a setback strikes, stop, breathe, and calmly name what happened without self-criticism. Reflect on the lesson the challenge brings, then choose one small action to move forward with grace. By doing this, you'll build unstoppable resilience. Embrace every challenge. Next, you'll learn how adversity can refine your spirit. Subscribe and share your journey in the comments below. Lesson 5. Let adversity refine your spirit. Imagine raw iron thrust into the center of a blacksmith's fire. Flames roar and heat dances along the surface, transforming the once dull, brittle metal into something bright, resilient, and powerful. In the hands of the craftsman, repeated strikes of the hammer shape it, every impact and every blaze carving out strength that could not be crafted in any gentler way. In the journey of emotional growth and self-mastery, adversity is this transformative fire, and every challenge endured is a stroke of the hammer shaping your deepest self. At times, life calls each of us into the center of that fire. The world might admire resilience from afar, but up close, adversity feels overwhelming and often unfair. Maybe you have faced betrayal you did not deserve, sudden changes that shattered your plans, or periods when hope seemed to flicker amidst a storm of uncertainty. The inner conflict awakens. There is a part of you that longs for comfort, stability, and control, seeking to avoid the burning trial. Yet another part, the part that senses greatness, understands that every spirit craves refinement, even when the means are hard to endure. When your days grow heavy or your heart feels blunted by endless demands, you may wonder why adversity seems to find you and what it wishes to teach. The pain of adversity is not just physical or external. It stirs doubt, surfaces old regret, and can rattle the quiet confidence you've built. In such moments, the mind often rebels or falls into despair, resentful of whatever force seems to be testing your resolve. You might question if these challenges will leave you permanently scarred or diminished, fearing you have little left to give. So many try to escape adversity by seeking distractions or comfort, but this only delays the inevitable return to the challenge, often in a harder form. Like a ship that avoids the necessary wind, only to drift aimlessly, you miss the chance to set your course and sail with intent. Yet, within every ancient Stoic teaching is a gentle but unbreakable truth. Adversity is the crucible in which your real self, unbreakable, wise, compassionate, is formed. Instead of seeing hardship as an ending, the wise have always viewed it as a beginning, a sacred opportunity for inner alchemy. The solution, then, lies not in resisting adversity, but in embracing it as a silent teacher and master sculptor of the soul. By meeting difficulties head-on, you discover inner resources that lay dormant: determination, courage, patience, compassion, and creativity, each one a new ring of growth. Like the rings found inside an ancient tree that tell the story of surviving season after season. The more you allow adversity to refine your spirit, the more you blossom into someone truly undefeatable. Others will sense, even if they cannot describe it, a quiet depth and fierce calm that draws them to you. You radiate silent, stoic impact, unlocking respect and trust, overcoming fear not by erasing it, but by learning to move forward in its presence. Over time, what once seemed unbearable becomes the very fuel that trains your mind and expands your heart. This is why the most peaceful souls often have the deepest scars, not because they were spared the fire, but because they chose to step into it, confident that the heat would forge rather than destroy them. When adversity strikes, pause to recognize the challenge, reflect on what quality it can strengthen in you, and act with intention to meet it calmly. Each practice adds to your resilience and deepens inner peace. Begin using adversity as your teacher now. In our next lesson, you'll discover how to train your mind for stillness. Share your growth with the community below. Lesson 6. Train your mind for stillness. Imagine a mountain lake at dawn, its surface undisturbed, reflecting the sky above with crystal clarity. Even as breezes dance across the distant peaks and forest animals stir to life, the waters remain perfectly still, a soft mirror holding the world in silent balance. This image of deep calm is not only nature's serenity, but also the internal sanctuary each of us longs for in a world filled with constant motion and noise. Most people yearn for this inner stillness, but only few ever taste it, for their days are shaped instead by turbulence and relentless mental chatter. The daily battle for emotional mastery begins here, within the restless mind. Thoughts rush in, sometimes urgent, sometimes trivial, like birds darting over a pond, unsettling its clarity. Perhaps you recognize the struggle. The mind, full of worries for the future and regrets from the past, rarely offers rest. Small irritations spiral into hours of anxiety, and single disappointments cloud the brightness of entire days. Social demands, deadlines, unexpected news, and even fleeting criticism strike the mind like stones tossed in water, rippling out endlessly. You wish for silence, a brief pause in which to breathe and reset, but the noise resurfaces the very moment peace feels within reach. This sense of being pursued by your own thoughts can make calm seem inaccessible, almost mythical. Many people believe stillness is only for hermits or monks, unreachable within the pressures of daily living or the chaos of modern society. You might have experienced moments when you tried to wind down, only to find your mind buzzing with restless energy long into the night. Or perhaps you've set goals, only for your scattered focus to undermine every step, leaving you discouraged and exhausted. With every struggle, hope flickers for a quiet mind, a space untouched by turmoil, where emotions and stress lose their storm. Ancient Stoic wisdom unveils a powerful truth. Inner stillness is not accidental, but deliberately trained and thoughtfully kept. It is not total isolation or ignorance of life's battles. Instead, it is a skill, the subtle mastery of attention and perception. The Stoic trains the mind as a skilled archer trains his aim, steadily and for many seasons, learning not to shoot wildly with every shifting breeze, but to steady his hand, deepen his breath, and listen for silence within. This too is available to you. The practice of finding space for reflection in your day, of catching yourself before you react, of breathing deeply when anger or distraction surge. The core of this solution is learning to rest in the present moment, to pause in the gap between stimulus and response, and choose stillness as an act of courage and strength. The transformation that flows from this practice is profound. When you first train your mind for stillness, moments of calm may be brief, fleeting like the space between ocean waves. Yet each pause strengthens your inner resolve, teaching the mind to obey rather than rebel, and helping emotions to settle with increasing speed. Over time, you unlock a deep power, resilience that can absorb the upsets of life with a gentle strength, and an emotional control that becomes truly undefeatable. Stillness makes you magnetic, drawing trust and admiration for your composure. Obstacles lose their harsh edge and fears begin to release their grip. By taking on the discipline of stillness, you join a tradition as old as wisdom itself. Moving through the world with the poised calm of the silent Stoic, at once attentive and unshaken, quietly commanding the wandering mind to serve rather than sabotage your true self. Begin each day by pausing for 3 deep breaths, observing your thoughts without judgment, and gently returning your focus to the present. Repeat during moments of tension. With practice, you'll gain clarity, lasting calm, and masterful self-control. Take this step now. Next, learn how to persist with honor instead of anger. Subscribe and share your peaceful moments in the comments below. Lesson 7. Persist with honor, not anger. Visualize a seasoned archer standing at dawn in a field shrouded by mist, his breath slow and measured as he readies his bow. Around him, countless targets blur at the edge of vision, each one a symbol of challenge, resistance, or past defeat. One by one, he looses his arrows, not with forceful rage, but with unflinching calm, unwavering even when shots miss their mark. In his stillness lives an inner command, a persistent dignity that does not abandon its craft to frustration or the fleeting thirst for vengeance. This quiet yet unrelenting dedication is the heart of true perseverance. It's what separates those ruled by anger from those who rise above, again and again, with honor. For many, persistence summons images of grit and relentless effort, but in moments of real struggle, perseverance is often hijacked by a fire that quickly runs wild. Anger. When faced with injustice, insult, or undeserved defeat, a torrent of heat surges within, pushing us to react, to shout, to retaliate, or prove a point. Often we tell ourselves this anger fuels progress, that outrage will propel us forward where patience has failed. But soon anger hardens, tainting effort with bitterness and draining precious mental energy. Self-control slips, decisions become reactive, and our persistence becomes tangled with resentment, bruising both ourselves and others along the way. Underneath this all-too-familiar cycle is an ache, the desire to keep moving, to pursue our paths, but to do so without losing the dignity and self-respect we quietly crave. This inner conflict is deeply human. When your progress is blocked by unfairness, when every stride forward seems to be met with new obstacles, or when others test your patience beyond what seems tolerable, your mind begins to equate force with progress. You may fantasize about arguing your way forward or using anger as a battering ram against what stands in your way. The problem is that anger is a sharp but fleeting fuel. It burns bright and then leaves you drained, often regretful, sometimes isolated, and rarely in a better place. It clouds the mind, narrows your vision, and sows seeds of future unrest. Worse, it tricks you into believing you are controlled, when in truth, you are simply being controlled by circumstance. Here, the ancient wisdom of the Stoics offers a path that transforms not only your actions but your very being. Their solution is deceptively simple, yet endlessly profound. Let your perseverance arise, not from fury, but from honor. Persist with the clarity and dignity of someone who stands by their values, even when the world seems intent on knocking them down. Picture yourself as a captain steering a ship through dark waters, unmoved by provocation or chaos above deck. You maintain your course, listening to the quiet voice of your highest self, rather than the shouts of momentary emotion. Choosing to persist with honor involves cultivating patience, self-compassion, and clarity about what you stand for. It asks you to move toward your goals, not by force, but by resolving to never let setbacks dehumanize your actions or sully your intentions. Persistence, then, turns from a frantic battering against obstacles into an elegant, focused resilience, a silent fire that burns steadily in you, unwavering even as storms gather around. The more you lean into this kind of persistence, the more attractive your discipline becomes. You shine as someone undefeatable, unconquered by external trials or inner turbulence. By choosing honor over anger, you unlock a deeper level of mastery and emotional control, one that impresses, inspires, and lingers long after quick tempers fade. In embracing this mindset, you begin not only to reach your goals, but to grow larger, wiser, and more peaceful in the journey. When obstacles arise, notice anger, but pause before acting. Remind yourself of your values, then choose to continue with patience and respect for yourself and others. Each choice builds lasting strength, clarity, and dignity. Begin this mindful persistence today and watch your confidence and peace grow steadily, no matter what comes. Share your journey and keep reaching higher. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Stoic art of enduring difficult days. Together, we've explored facing pain, embracing discomfort, anchoring your inner calm, enduring setbacks, letting adversity refine you, practicing stillness, and persisting with honor. Like, comment, and subscribe to continue your growth with the Stoic Power community.